Anyways, we're back here on the Bronco, and we've gotten quite a bit done. I haven't recorded a whole lot of it. If I'm being honest, there's been quite a few things going on, pulling me in different directions in life, as life does. And so it's been, a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Come out here, sandblast something, paint something, bolt something on, and it adds up. And if I'm being honest, I just haven't had it. I haven't taken the time to record any of that. But be that as it may, I'm kind of hoping things are going to start settling down and getting more to a flat line, and I can get more back into the rhythm of what I was before. But anyways, enough about that. The Bronco. The engine, when last we left, we had the engine, the transmission, and we got that all put in. So I'll kind of run you through real quick where we are at as of right now. The engine itself, I've started putting a lot of the accessories and distributor intake and all that stuff, all the crap that's bolted to the engine itself, back onto it. I got the water pump put back on. I have to go buy some bolts, if you can imagine, because can you believe on a small block Ford, I broke some of the bolts as I was taking them out of the water pump. But and I was just at the hardware store, and for some reason I didn't buy any. I can't. Okay, well, it's actually about, I don't know, 3-4 hours later from where I literally just started the other vehicle. I told you guys I was in and out a lot. It sometimes just never ends. But anyways, it's the evening. Everybody's settled in. Nothing is expected to come up. So hopefully I can get a few more things done on the Bronco here. So as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by having to do things with family and stuff. No, I enjoy it. But before then, I was saying we're getting some accessories on and stuff like that. I did go ahead and just temporarily bolt the power steering pump bracket in. I need to get a bolt for, I think I was telling you earlier, I need to get a bolt for that water pump. Out of all the running around we just did, I didn't get by the hardware store. Anyways, that'll probably be an errand for tomorrow morning. But one thing that did come in the mail that I'm pretty excited about is our headers. Now, these are not expensive headers. They look expensive, but they are not. These are straight off of eBay, and they come in over on a cargo ship from China, which is fine. I mean, I've used them on other projects, and I've actually been kind of impressed by them. So I've purchased these types of headers from the same manufacturer before on other projects, specifically, most recently, Big Blue. And I was actually pretty impressed by them. Like I said, they're really cheap. This set of headers was, I think, a little over $100, and they're supposed to be stainless steel, and they are kind of. So the tubes are stainless steel, but the flange is not. And the example I can give is that, I'm sorry, the only magnet I could find is my dial indicator, and the magnet is on. You can see here, that is not magnetic, but the flange is very, very magnetic. Very magnetic. Anyways, like I was saying, they're not 100% stainless. The thicker parts are steel, It looks like they've made an attempt to chrome it or something. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I mean, look at that flange. That's a pretty chunky flange. That's got to be almost 3/8 of an inch, if not maybe a little more. It's TIG welded on the inside and out. Got a nice flange on the bottom, nice thick and chunky. Again, TIG weld and on the inside. So, I mean, honestly, they're not bad. I mean, for $100, I mean, come on, that's pretty reasonable. But like I said, I've used them before. The only thing is, I mean, I know headers get hot, the exhaust gases are coming out, but these will literally, under normal conditions, if you're running this down the road at 2,500, 3,000 RPMs, they will glow red. They look like a NASCAR spinning 5,000 or 6,000 RPM. So yeah, just be aware of that. They do get hot. The stainless does not resist the heat. It seems to conduct it. And it makes the underneath the hood conditions very, very hot. So anyways, let's throw these on and see what they look like. Well, to start out here, I'll kind of give you a top-down action shot. Now this kit, like I said, the headers themselves are pretty decent. Comes with a nice, pretty thick gasket. I mean, it's a standard off-the-shelf exhaust manifold gasket. And it does come with hardware, albeit the wrong hardware. So I had to order, it comes with exhaust manifold studs or header studs, which are not even close to the right size. They're 1/4 20s, and the small block Ford takes 3/8, 3/8 by 16. So, but I just ordered some more, or some different ones on Amazon. So I thought we'd just bolt these on to get an idea of what this is going to look like. And I'm also hoping I've got, sorry, I got distracted there by my own thoughts. I also have the, ugh, come on, Matt, get the words out. I also have the Y pipe that I took off of this. And these headers are very much like the headers that came off of them. I don't know if you haven't seen that video, go watch the demo. But the demolition of the old Bronco. But those headers were completely shot. They're all rusted out. There was no saving them. But yeah, it looks to me like the Y pipe will match up with these headers, which would be really nice if I don't have to make a new Y pipe. And on that topic, I haven't really decided yet what I'm going to do for exhaust. I've been thinking. So we have a couple different options. We can go with just a stock exit, a run of the mill, just, goes back to the Y pipe, to a muffler, and then out a tailpipe, out the passenger side, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I could get a dual exhaust kit for an F-150 and go that route. And that's It's not true dual exhaust. It's a Y pipe to a dual outlet muffler, and then dual outlets going out. Or I've been toying with the idea of doing a side exit exhaust in front of the rear wheel. Either one rear wheel, Y piping it back, and then exiting right in front of the front. I'm sorry, the front of the rear wheel well. I think that would look really cool. The issue with doing that is sometimes you get, at least it's been my experience, you get some of that crackling when you get off the gas. And I'm not sure that my wife's going to really enjoy that. So we'll have to see there. I don't know. I want to do something interesting. And the reason I don't go with two true duals is because I don't want to monkey around with having to mess with the O2 sensor in it. The O2 sensor right now is set up in the Y pipe, so there's only one O2 sensor. I don't really want to mess with the thought of having to adapt it to two or relocate the O2 sensor into an H pipe or something like that. So I think I'm probably going to just stick with the Y pipe. Well, I tell you, it is sure nice working on stuff like this with it out of the vehicle, or not out of the vehicle, but without the frame on it or the body on it and stuff like that. I mean, I'm literally working at the perfect height, and I have full access to everything here. I mean, seriously, most of the time when you're working on stuff like this, you're upside down, working behind your back with one eye shut because you're trying to focus on something around something else. This is nice. I mean, I highly recommend it if you have the ability to try it out. It's really nice. What am I doing with a regular ratchet? I mean, I can literally fit the battery powered ratchet in here. Nice. Back to the hand ratchet for the feels. I don't know. Do you start at one end and go back and forth? You start at the middle and go out? Probably the middle going out, if anything. Did I already do this one? I think I already did that one. So that's pretty good. I got them torqued in at exactly 32 foot-pounds, according to my shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and put the spark plug wires back on, which I didn't go over this with you yet. We will. You're going to have to just give me a minute. Whoops. That's number 5, not number 6. So these headers on the Broncos and the F-150s, they look really good on the driver's side. I don't know what or why they do what they do on the passenger side. And I'll show you that right now. Before we get to the other side, though, I'll show you these. Not these, but these. Those look pretty nice. And like I said, I'm pretty sure they're going to line up with that Y pipe. I might have to modify it just a little bit, but that's no sweat. So this is the header for the driver's side. As you can see, it's got tubes just going everywhere. And when it's all said and done, good luck changing the number 4 or number 3 spark plug. I'll show you after I get it on here. So about 100 years ago, I bought these Stanley wrenches. And you see how they got this little goofy notch on them? Every now and then that comes on in real handy. And in a situation like this, it works out really good because you can actually ratchet that open end side of the wrench on the bolt head. And it works really, really good. I think Craftsman came out with a set of these way back in the day. And I bought the Stanley set, obviously, but I don't know if you run across a set at a garage sale. It might not be a bad thing to pick up. Here we go. Not sure how we're going to get in there to do this. Well, this is fun. But actually, this goofy little wrench setup makes it not quite as terrible. I mean, it's kind of a simple design, but pretty handy, really. I think I remember when I was in high school, Bob Vila advertising those. I don't know if anybody that's Gen X will remember, Bob Vila. Hi, I'm Bob Vila. I don't know anything about home remodeling, but I'm going to act like I'm an expert while Norm does all the work. He did this old house. If you remember watching that on public television, on I think Sunday afternoons or something. Maybe Saturday afternoons, you'd come in from doing chores and sit down and watch this old house. It's loosely what Home Improvement with Tim Allen was based on. Tim was kind of the Bob Vila guy, and Al was what the heck's the guy's name? I already forgot the name. Norm. Boy, I'm having me a brain fart. Norm Abrams. That's right. Norm Abrams. Does anybody remember that? This old house with Bob Vila and Norm Abrams? Bob did all the nonsensical commentary and Norm did all the work. It would always crack me up because you'd sit there as a kid and it'd be like, or when I was watching it, it'd be like some 200-year-old colonial house, and it'd be like, they'd walk up to it and Norm would go, well, Bob, here we've got this column holding up the entire end of this house. And Bob would go up to it and he'd be like, well, that's got to be pretty solid there, right? And, he'd just beat on it. You'd see everybody run away. And because Bob's about to knock down the whole building. All right, well, let's get that snugged up, I guess. Get all the ones I can reach first. Just snugged. We're not wrenching them home. Not yet. At least you can get into these. I've done headers on a couple small block Fords that you couldn't even get into. There wasn't even any room to get in with a wrench. I have a couple custom wrenches that have been ground down really fine around there and around the open head side so I could get in there. because they're so close to the actual tube. Almost. Nope. Let's not strip them out right away, Matt. I'll go through and put one more grunt on them. One thing you want to make sure and do with your header bolts and even exhaust manifold bolts, especially if everything's new, after it runs through a couple heat cycles, go back through and tighten them again, because as that metal expands and contracts, uh, it'll loosen those bolts up and just snug them down a little bit. But that one's in. So trying to show you as best I can, but believe it or not, there's a spark plug right there, and one right there. You can kind of see that one. You know, it'd be I mean, there ain't no way to get a socket wrench in on that one. I don't know. These are platinum plugs, and let me put it this way. Let's just hope I never have to change those two. Go ahead and put the plugs back on, plug wires. Now this one here, I don't know. Kind of run into the same problem with the plug wires. There's no real good way to get in there to push it on. There it went on. Good luck with it ever coming off. I mean, I guess if you got to change it or work on it, you might have to pull the header off. I do have a little bit of concern here. These headers, this pipe off of number 2 here is so close to that boot. I might have to make something to kind of tuck these two over, just to leave plenty of air gap there. Could melt that, because like I said, these get blazing hot. I guess I don't understand the design. I mean, I guess I kind of do, but I don't. I mean, you could have brought that down. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so the headers are on. I put quite a few of the accessories back on. We've got new injectors put in it. I got the the high pressure fuel rail on it. All the fuel lines are hooked up. I got the upper and lower intake manifolds on, the alternators on, idler pulley. I got the distributor in, wiring harnesses in. As you can see, we got the plug wires and plugs in. I went high performance, and you can tell that because they're red on the ignition system. But yeah, that's believe it or not. I mean, get the throttle body on there, and this thing will darn near be ready to run. So yeah. So with that, like I said, this engine's getting pretty darn close to being ready to run. Now I won't run it until I get the body all the way back on it. There's just too many things that you would need to do to get it all where it needs to go. You know, the whole, ignition and starting solenoids. And let's not forget the obvious, the ECM, which is in the physical body of the Bronco. So before I do the body work on that, and once I get all the bits and pieces back on the frame, we'll go ahead and set that body back down on this, and we'll definitely run it. It still needs the fluids. I need a couple bolts for the water pump. I need all the drive components for the accessories. hook up, power steering and things like that. And it'd be handy if it had, a resemblance of an exhaust system. Like I said before, I'm not really too sure what route I'm going to go on that. If I'm going to go super cool and try to do an exit in front of the rear wheels, do a modify a dual exhaust setup from a F-150, or just use the stock exit location. I'm going to be pretty happy with either of those options, if I'm being honest. So we'll kind of see what happens. Like I've said before, this is a build for my wife, so ultimately it'll be up to her. So I think I'm going to close this video out right here. I appreciate everyone watching. Give me a comment if you remember those shows like This Old House and Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement. Who were your favorite guys on that one? I always liked Norm from This Old House. He was always my favorite. He was the doer. And then he had the New Yankee Workshop on years after he did This Old House. I used to love watching him build furniture. That's one of my fonder memories growing up of my father and I. Like I said, I think it was Sundays. Those shows were on PBS here in Iowa, and we'd always sit down and watch them. So, anyways, I think that's all I got for today. I'll be back at you next time with another adventure. Appreciate you watching.